Alright, hey again out there. We're on part 173, and I'm hoping today we finish the horizontal framework of the mountain range. That would be pretty cool and useful. No push to do it, of course, but kinda do want it to happen though, so we're gonna try our best to make it happen. Currently day 1750, and we're getting pretty close to day 2000, which is pretty cool. I just found out to stop like the alt tabbing, like pausing my game thing. It's F3 and P, so that's cool. Good to know. Doing that real quick there, and it's really just as simple as let's just fucking get to it. Except I might want to consider fixing up some tools, but nah. Who needs fucking working tools? We don't need that in this house. I'll get the hell out of here. Don't need anything like that. But no, I actually am going to go do that really quickly just before I forget, because it will come up again, I'm sure, inevitably. So we'll take some time to get our tools fixed up. But last time we got about two or three of these done here. And in fact, it's starting to get so big we actually are seriously starting to cut into the Guardian farm over here, which is pretty cool. Um, not something you really get to see every day. Just, again, just the sheer scale of this thing is incredible. It already looks pretty threatening when it's like this. Now, once we start kind of getting like cross hatching isn't the word I can think of at the moment, but it's one I'm going with. Once we kind of get that cross hatch going of like vertical and the horizontal stripes, then we ought to be able to really do some cool stuff. So look forward to that. My elytra should hopefully be almost fixed, so just a little bit more. There might be an error in the other side if I had to guess. Nope, there it is. Hey, you never know. A couple of things that switched out just for extra safety. Dump all this garbage away. And then we'll just kind of get everything fixed up here real quick. But yeah, it's been a pretty good day today. I've just been kind of taking it easy like usual since it is the weekend and all, so no reason to do anything too crazy. I'm getting my drawing tablet I ordered tomorrow, along with my new extra two or not 244. If that was 244 terabytes, I think I would shit. But I'm getting a new 4 terabyte SSD as well, so I'll have 10 terabytes of storage on my computer because I simply can, and I think that's cool. Um, it's gonna go pretty good. Not really that hard to install. It's just an SSD. I'm mainly getting that drawing tablet is the other big thing. Looking forward to having that drawing tablet for once. So I really do want to start drawing again, and I want to start learning how to like animate and like do video editing. But he always felt like I was missing something by just using like mouse and keyboard for drawing. It was good. It's good for learning like the basics, like concepts of art, but in terms of actually making it, like in a digital way, it's just it's not it at all. But that's all right. But yeah, I think it's just gonna boil down to can we carve away more cobblestone? The answer is yes, we can, and we have to. And then it's just that easy, honestly. So we'll go ahead and start. It is not this layer; it's the one below. This is where we're starting at today. So we'll just go ahead and pop down some shulker boxes. Kind of unclog my inventory. We'll inevitably have to go back for more dirt, I'm sure. So, but I'm not going to worry about that for the moment, to be perfectly honest, because it's really not that big a deal. But just know that it will happen. So, won't be too bad though, or nothing. Yeah, we're gonna just try and clear out all this cobblestone up here that's floating for now. I think that'll be a good goal to try and do, and then we can carve away the little layer here, and then we should be good to going on. So, but I'm pretty confident I can get the horizontal layers done today, and then I can probably start putting in a lot more of the vertical stripes in today as well, since that's like historically cheaper on dirt compared to this stuff. So or at least for like, since those are just more like rough like skeleton like framework, so they're not anything too intensive. Like I don't need a whole bunch of dirt for me a little bit, so we ought to be fine. And then it just turns into this again for another couple of hours. So yeah, get comfy. Won't be that bad though, I'm sure. It will be worth it once all this stuff is all said and done. And it is helping me like in terms of getting rid of all these lava casts. So something that has to be done at some point. I think there might be some times on the weekdays I might just end up taking like literally like an entire like day on a weekday or something like that when I come home from work, where I'm not gonna have like my mic on at all, and like I'll turn my mic on to answer people, but otherwise I'm like muted just so that way I can focus on like mining out cobblestone. So I'll probably start doing something like that because I do want to try and get rid of a lot more lava casts. So I want those cleared out a lot more. Making great progress over here for sure, but I feel like there's more to this. But it takes time. That's alright. But realistically, this layer will be bulged out a little less compared to like how the distance between that one and that one was bulged. So we're gonna kind of make that less of a bulge, if I'm describing that correctly, on like the next layer. Because then the layer after the next layer that we're about to do is when it becomes like really steep. Because I want to kind of start easing it into like a really steep part of it, basically, since near the bottom is probably a good part for it to be a little bit steeper or something like that. It doesn't necessarily need to be like crazy steep, but I do want to kind of keep that in mind just so I can start getting ready to make it steeper. But we will want, in fact, we're already over that plot of land already, and I'm sure we'll be able to get over that island, like, no matter what we do, so that'll be interesting. That was a thing I'd actually never considered before until it just started happening, was how this mountain is really going to interact properly with like other bits of land altogether. Guardian Farm is one thing, the Iceboat Road is one thing, especially because I'm going to move the Iceboat Road underwater, but the Guardian Farm is not that big of a deal. You just cover the whole thing up, big whoop, but how I'm going to merge it with the land itself that's actually already here, I think it'll be an interesting challenge to tackle. Not going to be anything super difficult or anything like that, since there's only like 2 points being like that part of the island. No, actually, there's more like going to be three because I forgot about the wheat field over here. That might be a little bit more of an interesting problem, but we'll see how it goes. Believe me, I'm not sure how it is going to go, but I've got a couple of ideas that should work out fine enough. I'm not really too stressed out about it or nothing. Um, I will say though, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the thing I wanted to do. I probably am, but I'll have to look into it a little bit more. But basically, once we start on our very bottom layer there, I kind of want it to be more of a crescent moon shape where like the tips of it are like pointed, and then it's pretty much like really slim and narrow, and then it like bulges like as we start getting out to here. So it won't really bulge out at like the wheat farm. It might a little bit, but most of this wheat farm should still be like completely intact. And then it starts bulging out into that land a lot more, and then way out into the ocean. And then by the time it circles back around, it won't really bulge into the tree farm and all that. So you got like, from a top-down perspective, more of a crescent moon shape. And then it helps to make sure I'm not encroaching too hard on like stuff I've already done, because it's inevitable that it's gonna happen. But I just don't want it to get rid of like everything. So I have to try our best to make sure that doesn't become an issue. Which, again, shouldn't be too bad, so I'm not too bad about it. But yeah, tomorrow I get to go back to work. Yippee. Kinda wish I was able to talk my way into a 4-day work week, but kinda rough right now at the moment since I'm, only 35 hours and all that kind of stuff, and like, we're still getting a lot of stuff set up, but I might try again after we get like something comfortable going because, I miss having like 4 days off or 3 days off a week, I mean, I don't necessarily need the money super bad because, objectively speaking, even if I were to work 40 or even 50 hours a week making the, money I'll be making, after my paycheck and all that, Like realistically, I won't ever be able to work overtime, so it'll really cap at like 40 hours a week. But even working 40 hours a week at 17 an hour, I would still never have any shot in hell of like actually moving out. So it's simply not worth trying, like straight up. It's not worth trying to an extent. It's still worth trying to earn some extra money, but it's more just worth having like an extra day off for me because even if I do work on Fridays, it just wouldn't matter in the long run for anything important. So it's better to just kind of say like, yep, all right, here's what's happening. I'm gonna just fucking work 8 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, or even 9 hours if it's really that big of a deal that I work at least 35. And then on Fridays, I'm not doing anything because why would I? Like all the work I'm sure can be condensed into like 4 days out of the week. And hell, even if like the 10th falls on like a Thursday or whatever, and I need to be 10th, I'm sure I could get it worked out where like I have to come in on the 10th and the 20th of every month or like whatever the day is before that. So if it falls like if it's like the 19th is a Friday and the 20th is like a Saturday, I still have to come in on Friday. I can just take like Thursday off or Monday off or whatever to account for it. But 3-day weekends, man, they're really useful to have. You get that first day to just do all your chores, and then you get your actual, like, second and third days to just actually have a weekend and feel bad. So it would be kind of a nice thing to have again. That was the best part about holidays was just being able to have a 3-day weekend. But of course, that won't happen again for a while, which is a little annoying. And it's like all the shit I do is stuff I know I can do at home, so and there's no way I'm talking my way into that, unfortunately. Again, really annoying because it's shit that I know I'm good at, and that once we get a workflow going, I know I can do it at home because it's already all done on a computer that's like fine. If it's really that big of a deal, I'm sure I can get a work laptop or whatever to like have it make sure it's properly secured with a VPN or whatever. It's not like it's out of the question. I mean, other employees take their work home all the time, so why couldn't I just, one day out of the week. But either way, I don't know. It's just kind of the worst part of working is that, you gotta spend so much time there. Like, the days that I come home after work, I literally just don't do anything. I just go take a nap for 2 hours, and then I just stay up all night doing whatever. But, in terms of actually going out and doing stuff, like, chores or, like, grocery store or anything like that, it pretty much ends up waiting until the weekend or unless there's, like, a day where I actually feel like doing something, because it's just kind of draining other. Most of it's driving, too. Again. Fucking driving, man. Not a fan of it. It's just not good. All driving is just a lame piece of shit, and it's really not cool. But I ought to start looking for. Oh, after I get my real estate license, I ought to start looking for another job and all that. I don't want to quit this company at all or nothing, but I've already talked to my boss about it, about picking up a second job because you know how rent is. It's, things are too tough even with just one job right now where I'm working full time. He's like, no, I get it. So I'm gonna probably start looking for a second job at some point. Probably some like I don't fucking know. Like I'm thinking like some kind of like graveyard shift, like IT job or something like that. Something that's like super late at night where you've got like less of a chance of like calls happening. And if you do have like a call that happens, great because people tend to be a little bit more laid back at night. And then even if they're not, it's like once in a blue moon that somebody would actually call. So it's not like whatever. I want to just pick up more graveyard shit like that because I'm already up that late anyway, so why not? But either way, I'm just trying to make it through life right now. Something better, like again, is gonna take some time, but I'm getting through. Speaking of getting through, I want to get through this fucking mountain. I'm over this shit. Not really over it. It's just this shit still does take like a crazy ass amount. I ought to. Oh, I better go check on the iron farm before I forget about that. All right. I'm gonna have to make some more shulker boxes because I do need to clean out that iron farm again. I know there's like an ungodly amount of poppies down there, so I need something about it. We'll see. Oh yeah, right. Bed. Bed. Uh-uh. Oh, I would rather not have shit spawn up here, so I need to go. Where have I put the bed? What the fuck did I do with the bed? Huh, well, I did something with it apparently. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I've already slept in it. I just don't know where I didn't grab it, I guess, so that's a little annoying. I'll have to look out for that as I'm working. I wonder if I could redo this map too to not have like the green arrows on there, if there's a way to get rid of that up. But I'm pretty sure I slept on like one of the railings up here or something silly like that. So. Oh yeah, I saw it. I saw it. I just saw it. It was down here. There we go. Better. Go ahead and dump all this shit away or in the space. That's what the extra one is for. Yeah, I'm getting better at that. Cool. Now with this cobblestone almost gone, we'll be able to start working on the dirt again. We do another layer, and then we'll have to take out a little bit more cobblestone to work. So, but we're getting there. Not that big a deal enough. It's taking a lot of time. That's kind of to be expected at this point. And we'll just start taking it out this side. There we go, and then we can start cleaning this part out a little bit here. Good to get a little bit of a head start on the bottom one there, so basically we're just going to go under like this, go down like 6 blocks like we already did, and just carve everything up and out. And then once we get that done for the whole section, then we can start working on the dirt again. I have no real timeline on when the mountain will be done. I know I want it to be done at some point. I just don't have any like feasible idea of when that could even happen. Like that's not even accounting like actually having to spend like literal like hundreds of days gathering up all the materials, I'm sure. But it's, even just placing them down and making sure everything looks right is, not even including buildings and shit. It's just it's gonna take a very long time, I'm sure. So I've got no idea how long it will be. On the bright side, though, once the actual like outside of the mountain is done, which aka is the whole mountain, we'll have obviously this massive, fucking massive area on the inside here that you can already start to really get a sense of scale for. This stuff will kind of be walled off in its own little like area, up to the like. Basically, we'll be building like a wall around all this glass that's here, just so that way there's you know, just so I know not to build here and all that, since I wouldn't exactly really want to, especially if it causes like some kind of interference with the shulker shell farm. That would be a pain in my ass for sure. I've got enough shulker shells to last me for like an eternity, unless I like burn like 13 billion boxes of it, but I should be fine. That'll probably be one of the other farms I redesign too, is the Shoulder Shell farm, but, you know, got yet to see on that, I'm sure. But, yeah, I mean, like, I'll be able to start building, like, a proper, like, mega base and something like this, I'm sure, once I get most of the lava casts out of the way. Especially, too, because it'll be a lot safer to build in, since I won't have these lava casts that go up, like, you know, 200 something blocks and, like, have shit spawning on top of them and, like, falling off the side of a cliff, so once this is out of the way, it opens up the inside of the mountain a lot more, and then we can just start. I could even tell you what I would want to put in. I think I've talked about it before about like having shit like on the sides of like the walls and whatnot. But the main dilemma is inevitably how do I make space on like without making something like a skyscraper where it's just you know big fucking building in New York that is like 200 floors or whatever and is like just that a big fucking building. How do I make natural looking terrain, fantasy, realistic or otherwise, that makes the most use out of this height, you know? Like when we're talking about how it gets to its deepest point in there, we're talking about a like 200 block just vertical space. Not to mention the horizontal space too. Like we're talking some seriously fucking crazy amounts of height in here, dude. I mean, even though the Minecraft world itself is like, you know, 200 and what is it? It's 380 blocks now from like bottom of the world to top of the world. You still will probably never see people build up more. Like you won't see like a structure that's more than like 120 something blocks tall. Like it's like man made. Other than something, of course, like mountains, but like actual living structures and all that that are like that big, you just don't see even for buildings because it's like really fucking crazy. Now you'll see it in creative or whatever, sure, but not survival. But when it comes to like these sheer like vertical bits, there needs to be something that I can do or some kind of like some kind of theme that I can have, like a floating island kind of theme where like I need to be able to create like flat space like midair and like suspended somehow like off of the ground. That's not just a skyscraper, or not necessarily just floating islands either. I feel like that's too easy of a cop out, and like I wouldn't want to build like 13 billion floating islands. The kind of mushroom-like structure that I built ages ago that I showed off a couple of times, probably about 6 months ago by now, I think was a great example. I think the concept of it is really good. I it just needs a little bit more refining, but overall, I think it's like super versatile. I think like when there's enough of them paired together with different colors and things like that, it could be super fucking cool. Especially with proper like mood lighting, with like frog lights or like glowstone or whatever the fucking theme I have going on in Praise. But or I could just say fuck it and just make it like this ungodly like amalgamation of everything where it's just completely chaotic about what's going on inside of the mountain where the theme is that there is no theme. So like you've got a ton of shit in here and it's cool in its own right because there's like a lack of unison and I think that could be interesting too, but I want shit in there that kind of is actually able to take full advantage of like the height. You know, I don't want just something that's basically on like sea level that goes up maybe like 80 blocks at most without feeling too awkward, and then like you know that height just isn't taken advantage of properly because of that. You know, we get so much height in here inside of this mountain. I want this thing to be chock full of shit at some point. It's just figuring out how to fill it with stuff is what's going to be hard. Like there has to be a certain way to do it that makes it like really good. You know, for this truly unique place. But who knows? Figure it out, I'm sure. It's not something to worry about at the moment. Something to talk about at least. Especially now that we're almost done with the cobblestone, it takes my mind off of it. But yeah, fun fact, not everything needs to be instantly gratifying. This cobblestone stuff definitely is boring for sure, but the payoff will be worth it, I'm sure, you know, once we get the mountain built. Now, I should have never built these in the first place, you know, that's on me, but at the same time, you know, I don't mind getting a bunch of cobblestone because, well, hey, it's still cobblestone. It's still good for a ton of shit. You know, it's a massive building component. You need it for a lot of crafting. It's fucking cobblestone. It looks good with a lot of good shit. So there's no reason not to have it. But yeah, I definitely should not have ever built these. Honestly, especially when you start looking at like these big fucking tall ones. Wow, that's a lot to take out. There's no Instamine. You know, that's the worst part. If there was Instamine to this shit, I'm pretty sure this stuff would have already been at least halfway done by now, like the whole thing, but because there's no insta mining this stuff on account of it being cobblestone when it's got a higher like hardness, it's just not doable, which is really annoying. Like, I really wish there was just some extra way to just get that little bit of boost to, like, you know, be able to insta-mine, like, a little bit tougher blocks like that. Not talking about insta-mining, like, something, like, stupid, like Obsidian or, like, Netherrack, or not Netherrack, Netherite, rather. Like, I'm talking just, like, things like concrete would be a great thing to be able to insta-mine, cobblestone, just having either, like, another tier of efficiency, or well, no, another tier of efficiency wouldn't just make it be the only thing that's like efficiency 6, and then if it's efficiency 6, why isn't there sharpness 6, or like fucking protection 5, or like whatever. Like we don't do that. We don't gotta worry about that. But there ought to just be something that gives you that little bit of an extra boost. I think a potion would still be like a really great alternative, but again, naturally that probably will never happen, and that's all right. It doesn't need to happen, but it oughta. Would be very cool. Won't though. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and carve out, same ordeal again, we're carving out our moss until we can get to the back end over here, where it starts to like flatten out here, so we're going to get to here. There we go. And that's all we were looking for, so we can just throw this moss off a cliff and we're good to start placing dirt down again, so that's nice. So we'll go ahead and start working on that. Don't have a whole bunch left to do. Still a great big chunk for sure, but not nearly as much as I had only 2 weeks ago. So yeah. I'll have to remember to fill in the spine again. I forgot to do that yesterday, so we'll take some time. Sure. We'll leave a little bit of space so I can pick this up and take this with me. And it begins anew all over again. But yeah, the big trick I found when it comes to like mountain building stuff like this is just kind of, a lot of it is actually pattern based, but most of it does just come down to like remembering basic patterns and all that, and then just kind of going with whatever feels right, or kind of having like a rough idea of what you do is pretty important. Like having a distinct goal in mind is pretty good. Like how I've talked about how like from layer to layer, I want certain layers to be like shallower in angle. Like that one's a really shallow angle, or I want some of them to be like super steep at angle or something like that. But kind of having like good interval like goals is pretty important in making sure something feels right and like that. And again, like pattern recognition when it comes to certain things like this is going to help out a lot. So it's important to like really try and do good with it. Not that you have to be the best in the world at it or nothing like that. It just seems to be passable. So of course, I'm no expert on anything when it comes to stuff like this, but not exactly that bad at it apparently either. So of course you can be the judge of that, I'm sure. Not like it really matters. But as long as you think it looks good and like you can genuinely sit there and say, yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I've done. It honestly doesn't necessarily matter what it is, but kind of the good part of this game too. Yeah, you can see how we're starting to get pretty close to the extreme hill biome. We're not quite there yet, but we are making good distance on it. This one will be a little bit harder to gauge because I don't have the shadow on account of being over solid lane. So this is going to be a little bit harder than figure out if I'm going too far or anything like that. I'm pretty sure too, and another thing I don't think I've actually properly sat down and talked about, the ocean itself, right? Now, the inside of the mountain, I don't know what I want to do because you can clearly see the sheer fucking ocean that's gonna be inside of the mountain. And I think it's a really cool thing to have in moderation. I don't know how I would make it particularly different or easier to access or anything like that. Hell, maybe I could fucking do mountains inside of. Well, I don't think I could ever go that far mentally. Like mountains inside of mountains. Because if I did that, I think I would just straight up have a stroke. Because it just. I think that's when we start delving into territory that's fucking crazy in terms of just being really stupid and like a massive fucking time sink or something that might not even be that good. But I'm getting ahead of myself there. The sea, the actual ocean. I don't know quite what I want to do with it, other than I know I want something to do with it. But I kind of want a good chunk of it to still remain like ocean in here. But I definitely do need to like consider and acknowledge the fact that there is going to be like a lot of dirt that covers up the ocean for like more land or something like that. I might be able to map it off of like the pre-existing like ocean terrain. So you see how like these kind of like sandbars basically are here, where it's terrain that used to be like actual terrain, but I flattened it, or it's just naturally forming sandbars that are like kind of barely here or whatever, or barely not touching the water. We could just push those up with some dirt a little bit more to make it islands, and then most of it is just water underneath and all that. So while the majority of it is still an ocean, we still try to have some kind of like solid land in there. Doesn't need to necessarily be a whole lot, but I need to do something about it because I don't want it to be just a whole inland ocean or an underground ocean. I it would be really fucking cool, but I don't think I could like have a whole thing for it without it feeling like really fucking weird or too shallow of an idea to where I can't make like it on that big of a scale, if that makes any sense. Like there are some ideas that are great in like small builds, but if you try to apply it to like a stupid large scale, then we have issues in terms of like that looks awkward. It's not quite the right idea that I was going for, and now I have to tear it all down and try again. So there's got to be something a little bit better I can do to mix it up here and there. But get to figure out what that is or could be. So that one's a really long straight line, but I'm out of dirt. That's crazy. Just kidding. What is this one? Oh, wood. Doesn't matter. Alright, cool. So now we're actually out of dirt. I'm not going to use my grass again as I've talked about because I really don't want to. The fuck? It's really hard to tell where the shadow is. There it is. Okay. With it being on the sandbar at all, it actually does get pretty difficult. So There we go, that's a little bit better. Oh hey, cool, nighttime. Just kidding, I don't know what time it is ever, apparently. Sun's getting ready to start setting though, but we still got a good bit of time here before it does. Um, I think we'll take a little deviation from doing shit here, just so that way I can go fill in the spine again. So why don't we take some time to go first and then keep going? So good dolphin, not a dolphin means multiple of them now. There we go, something like that. Whoops. And then we're also gonna have to sleep here like immediately. Then we can get back to it. This one will be a good bit shallower than probably what I would have liked, but at the same time, it's honestly not that big a deal, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But yeah, we just want to go from here to there. You're gonna help. It'll look really annoying. Like, damn. Definitely did miscalculate pretty bad here, so that's definitely not too good. Still fixable. It's just gonna be a little bit more of a pain in the fix, but I don't think it's possible or anything. This could work out in my favor, but I've yet to see. See if F5 does not help because the Elytra being in the way. That's cool. I love to see it. That's the part where you don't, but you know. Oops. I think that's a fair joint of them and all that. That's where that joint is, by the way, is where it floats off of the ground. So let's fly back a little bit more. So there's the joint, and then that's when it transitions into stuff that I had already done. So I think that's pretty fair. Not fine, you know, can't go too wrong with something like that, I'm sure. Don't really think I could make it that much better. And like I've said before, it's a fucking guideline. It's not no big rule of thumb. It's just a guideline. I should maybe try and do stuff. I can always fuck around with it a little bit more depending on. This is it. I really ought to quit eyeballing this too, but Now, we're already going to overshoot that by a pretty severe margin, I can already tell. But, and it is difficult to tell what's going on at the time of this kind of stuff. To be, the angle does me no favors more often than that's all right, but see how it actually. And then I actually do start breaking away from it. But the reason that's kind of so aggressive is I really do want it to start steepening out here, like pretty hard on the next couple of layers. So I don't think I made a bad call here. We'll actually sit down and look at it, but I don't think it was a bad call. So we'll look and see kind of what we got going on. A nice fly out view here. And yeah, you can see kind of how we go from pretty flat to pretty steep, then it flattens out quite a good bit. But you see now how we start like steepening out here like really hard. So yeah, you see how much of a steep angle that is. I think this could work pretty well. Um, I think this ought to work pretty well. I can't be the judge of everything, I'm sure, but I'm not heavily opposed to it. Is my main point. There's nothing about this that makes me say, "Damn, I have made a horrible mistake," which is fine. That's a good sign. Obviously, it's not perfect, but when is anything? So now, of course, even with a 3060, the sheer size of anything is still gonna fucking hurt. So you know, surprisingly, it's not doing all too bad. We're coasting at 30 FPS with a 3060 this kind of CPU. So all things considered, I'm sure once things start loading in, you can see how like we get a much better amount in our frame. So that's cool and quirky. Yeah, you can see how we get our kind of steep drop off, and then we go down, and then we start getting to our steep bits down here. Um, we'll kind of we'll kind of shallow it out a little bit more. If I can actually, I guess. Oh wait, no, I can fly over to here to get a better angle to show what I'm talking about. Go up over here. So if I land up here real quick, it's not that great of an angle, and let me see here. But I ought to bring my spyglass. I could have sworn I still have one, but we'll just stick with the FOV for now. But basically, you can see how we get our shallow angle, and then it turns into a steeper one. We're gonna have it basically go a little bit steeper and then branch out just a little bit more. I'm trying to estimate where the next like ring is gonna be, so I'm guessing it's gonna be at about this like Y level. But we're gonna want to like kind of bring it out a little bit more, so it's more like a diagonal line or like a more of a kind of like curved line like that instead of it just going straight diagonal or like down and then curving really hard. But we should try and bring it out just a little bit more. And then once it gets past that point there, I think we'll be on our last layer. And then the layer. And then we got like a layer and then the ocean. So then we want to start steepening it out again where it goes down a good bit. And then the one that goes from that last layer to the ocean goes down a lot. Like that should be our steepest one that goes from like our last ring down straight into the ocean floor. That should be like a pretty fucking like crazy one. So we're gonna turn our FOV back to normal, and our video settings are going back to 20. 20 chunks is pretty good, all things considered. But you can definitely start to see it taking shape. It's again still like really fucking visible even from all the way up here, so that's pretty cool. Always nice to see. But again, I think we are making good progress. I might technically want to rework this, but I'm Maybe I ought to rework this. This might be coming in a little bit too hot. So why don't we pick a point here to kind of start tearing it out just a little bit, and then we'll fucking see if I can't like make it a little bit nicer. So let's see here. This is 4, so then I can make this one here 3. Connect up the edges there. 3. Do 2. Then we can do 2 there, and then we can start dipping in ore 1s again. And now we're hitting a point where we're gonna have to start going a better area for this, so let's just kind of glide on over, hopefully. Yep, there we go. And we can just start tearing out all this stuff. And we'll just give it another chance. It wasn't really wrong or anything like that, but something about it did need to be changed, and I think kind of like making sure it doesn't go too steep would be a good option, so we'll try fixing that first and just kind of see how I feel. I also want to try and reclaim a decent chunk of this dirt here, so kind of why I'm down here. Of course, naturally, I'm gonna like miss everything, so you know it does happen, but. But yeah, you know, I think we're still making good progress. But what the fuck was it? Was that a bee out there? Let's see what that was. I could have sworn I'd seen something like flying out over this part of the ocean. I guess it wasn't. Okay, that's strange. Anyways, I guess, huh? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to stop that early so I can sleep, and then I can go back to doing that, but. And I got a good idea what's going on here, at least that's good. Oops. Now I think that'll be a lot better. So it still is a little bit steep, but not like super steep at the end. I think that's better. It'll ease into like kind of like curving it back out. So basically it curves, kind of goes straight down, and then it curves, and then it starts curving into something pretty steep. And then once it kind of hits this point, it kind of goes down a little bit, and then curves out to the left a little bit more, and then it flattens for a little bit, and then it pretty much goes straight down in the ocean into the next layer. But I think that's fine for now. We're out of dirt after this, so we're gonna have to go back and go mine up some more. I've already got shulker boxes on site, so I don't actually need to bring any with me, but regardless of whether I still have any over there or not, still gotta go mine the dirt, so that'll be fun and quirky. That's a little annoying. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and actually land on here this time, but like for real. There we go, it's better. We'll just kind of get back to it, so yeah. I'm gonna come to the back. Oh, crazy, we're out of dirt. Cool. Yeah, you can see we still have to wrap all the fucking way around the side. Um, I'm trying to think. Let me pop open the F3 menu here really quickly. The Y level we're at, we're dipping below the 140s now. We're at Y 136, so we're gonna go ahead and check and see what the next layer that we're gonna like connect to is gonna be at. Hopefully it's 136. If not, it's gonna be a little annoying, but not the end of the world. And then we're just gonna go out to the mining island for more dirt. So go out there. Now this is in fact not 136. I'm actually lying. This is exactly 136. Get trolled, but yeah, this should be fine. We just need to, again, kind of curve this out. These ones were designed a little bit differently because of these old lava casts where I just barely shaved off enough to do anything. Um, I think these end cap sections here where they've got like the diagonal bits that like cut off all the grass, I think these will be the ones where we like bring them all the way down to the bottom of the ocean in terms of like how we sand them off and all that kind of stuff. So that way, by the time I'm done with like the wireframe, like the end pieces of like the lava cast will be like completely shaved out of here. So that way, the only stuff that's left is like this stupid shit like way in the back of the way in the back of the mountain that we'd have to carve out, which is a lot better and a lot more doable. So not that much better at the end of the day, I suppose, but it's at least progress. Progress does count. Whoops, forgot to hit the space bar, you know how it is, but yeah, 136 up there, 122 here, the third layer down here, and then fourth layer down below. So again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 we're working on there, so that'll leave us with 3 left after we're done. So that ought to be interesting. We might actually have to carve these out a little later since I really do want to try and get the dirt in place, but we're getting there. It's not too bad. But yeah, we're gonna go get some more dirt and get this shit going. So I don't count that as its own layer, by the way. That's kind of its own just hanging out kind of piece. We don't really worry about that part and this part as well that corresponds with it. They're not really there for being part of it. No extra dirt laying around. What a shame. Be always nice to have, but I won't have that for ages. But yeah, no, you can start to really appreciate the scale that we got going on here as it starts getting closer and closer to. So, I guess let me see if I can fly back up somewhere a little bit more. I wonder if the top of this mountain over here would be a good place to look. See, I'll probably have to crank the render distance up to max just to even like be able to see it. But I think this could be like a pretty good place to view. I had to make some kind of lookout tower if this ends up being a good distance. It's either here or there. I would make some kind of just building to be able to look at this shit from like a really good angle. So kind of like what I did for the scaffolding at the very front of it. You see, this one here doesn't quite load in enough. It loads in most of it, but I want there to be a little bit more, so I'd have to fly down to maybe something like this over here to get a little better idea going on. I think it's a little bit better, but maybe it should be a little bit more of a diagonal. If I had to pick a fixed point, it'd probably be exactly where I was floating, just there, because you get to see the actual like profile, like the side profile of the mountain. You still get to see like the curvature on the inside, all that kind of shit. So I think something like that. I almost switched out my elytra as I was flying with it like an idiot. So, but We'll worry about that later. It's just a little viewing deck is all. It's nothing groundbreaking. Ironically, this is about to be groundbreaking, though. Literally. So that'll be cool and fun. But there's a lot of land out here that I don't think I've even mapped out anything out here, really. Oh, yeah, there's a portal. But I probably realistically won't ever expand out this far into like building and all that kind of stuff because it's not on like my main little like 2x2 map, so probably wouldn't do anything with it. Although this is a fairly cool area. Oh, this actually almost perfectly illustrates the crescent moon shape I was talking about, this little ravine down. Where it kind of tapers off at the end, bulges out at the middle, and then tapers off at the end to where you get this really thin point. This is a great example of exactly what I want to do. So, like, imagine this is the mountain from, like, the top down. Where, like, you know, again, you've got, like, the end points here. You've got your bulging part way at the back that's tallest point, and then you've got your other end piece over there, and you're good to go. So, that's pretty much what I'm going for with the mountain, but it's nice having, like, some kind of, like, small example of what it'll really look like. I haven't to spend too many blocks or too much time on it, so that's good. I need to make sure I check the gunpowder farm too. I haven't done that in a while. And then we can just hop over here. There we go. We'll just take these with me for now. Now it ought to be up here is where the last set of shulker boxes was that I left. Yeah. Here we go. We want these as well. I need to move them to like a place with dirt again since I did kind of clean up larger chunk. But yeah, we'll just set everything down. But, you know. Of course, because I've got MBT tags, I'm gonna have to like go out and place them on manually one by one. That's only a little annoying. That's 9 of them. We're not gonna fill up all 9. I can try, but I realistically don't want to because I know that it'll take something like an hour and a half just to get dirt, so I'm not gonna do that. Come on, let it happen. You know you want to. I guess we'll take some time to put away some other stuff, just so it's out of the way. Yeah, fuck it, why not? There we go. There, it should be a little bit better. We'll leave the ender chest in the bed here since I don't plan on really leaving this area too much, so we'll just do that for now. But it just frees up more space in my inventory and then I can just get more dirt. Let me think. 27 times 9 is... Let's see here. 20 times 9 is 180. 9 times 7 is 63. 180 plus 63. 240. Okay, yeah, so I'd need 243 stacks of dirt to fill up all 9 shulker boxes if I'm not mistaken, so... that would be wacky and quirky. Yeah, 180 plus 63. Yeah, okay. 142, so... It's doable. I mean, we've technically already got 2 of them, so I'm 1% of the way there, but... It still doesn't take away from the fact that it will take a long ass time. I'm thinking 3 shulker boxes is a reasonable enough amount since that's only 27 times 3. That's only like, what, 81 stacks? Something like that? Yeah, 81. So that's also still really doable without being like overwhelming. So we'll probably go for 3 shulker boxes worth of dirt and grass. Which again ought to be fun. Probably need to, I can use the grass, I just don't want to feel like I have to, because I do like saving the grass. I don't know for what exactly. It's probably more for filling in like the flat like dirt plateaus and all that up on like the flat bits up top, but I won't exactly really need to do that anymore, so I guess I could start using it a lot more. Waiting for grass to grow on that large of a scale will take a long ass time, so it's better to just place it in for as much as possible, or at least in my opinion. Again, could be wrong on that, but not like it really matters either way, I guess. Oh yeah, fun fact, the newest like VOD that I uploaded got copyright striked. Again, no music in any of these ever. And it got copyright striked for sounding too similar to one song that I didn't even bother listening to because it would have been the literal like same song and dance of the past where it's like, oh well, the how you mind or play something that sounds just similar enough to this one big beat, so you know, copyright infringement. Doesn't have any bearing on my channel or nothing like that, but it's still really fucking dumb for it to even exist in the first place. Because again, I don't play music in any of these. There's not even in-game music anymore. There's nothing. You know, there's literally no fucking way for it to do anything like that. Anti-copyright infringement bots always doing that. You know, fair enough, but yeah, it's lame as shit is what it is. I'm thinking probably by the time I harvest enough dirt to make my own mountain, this whole island is gonna be like gone. Like there simply will not be anything left of like this island's like dirt once I'm done with it. So I will probably just end up leaving it as like this massive like stone wasteland out in the distance. Maybe like leaning into it a little bit more, like a ruined city or whatever. But probably means I'd have to build a ruined city, so I would probably never do that. Other than just hey, it's a wasteland, fuck it, I don't know. Fertile now. No nutrients in the dirt or something, but not like it really matters. Alright, let's go ahead and dump away a little bit more. Already almost a whole shulker box, that's pretty cool. We're getting there already, about a third of the way done. Dump that shit out. And then we'll just fucking this direction for sure, why not? That's a pumpkin. Yeah, more dirt. That's cool. Really not much to say here, so sorry about that, but it's exactly what you expect out of this kind of stuff. Alright, that's one box, two more to go, hopefully. About halfway done. A little less than halfway done. Making good time on it, though. Need to get back to the bed. Shouldn't be too far away from it, but you never know. And it's mainly just getting back there before shit starts spawning, and then it gets annoying. There we go. Alright, yep, better. Throw out all this shit. Hey, I guess I'm just kind of splitting it off from the ocean right now because there's really no method to like how I'm getting the dirt as long as I get it pretty much. So it doesn't exactly matter what I do to get it out. still is a little difficult getting used to toggle shift, especially when I'm working in water and all that kind of stuff, but I'm kind of getting there. It ain't that bad. Sand will just get all dumped instantly, so we're not going to really worry about this stuff or anything. Apparently it's quite a mess though, that's for sure. Same deal with the sprint button too and all that with that being toggle as well. Does make it a little bit more annoying as usual. But pretty much if it's got the dirt on the surface, it's gone. That's pretty much what I'm going for here. Chicken. Now we'll go ahead and drop this dirt off, and then we'll just keep collecting what I already mined up over there, and then we're getting close though already. I mean, again, we nearly got a whole stack of grass, or not stack, shulker box. Almost 2 of dirt, so we really are almost done here if we're going to include the grass as well, but I'm not personally. Just something more of a bonus, I guess. Can't be bad to have though. Probably. There's no blocking that up. Not when it's that big. Oh well. Yeah, this place is definitely a hell of a mess, though, that's for sure. Man. But it's kind of what's cool about it. And kind of the point, too. Again, like I said, I pretty much do want to just, not really want to, but I'm gonna end up inevitably turning this whole, like, landmass into stone without, like, any dirt on the top, just because I need the dirt for other stuff, so it's better to just have, like, one dedicated bit of land for it instead of spreading it out all throughout the world in these weird, ugly patches. At least I can probably do something with this later on, but who knows. This is pretty close to done, though. We're getting there. It's 2. Technically, it is 3 if we are including the grass, but we're not including the grass as I talked about, so we're gonna keep going here. I should still have another silk touch shovel just in case. Oh, this was my other silk touch shovel. Whoops. Yeah, my other elytra. Ah, shit. That's a little annoying. Alright, okay, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna take a small little detour after I grab more fire bricks that I also need to make more of. Fuck it, there we go, whatever. This can go back in there. Which we're gonna also pop in on the, you know, the gunpowder farm too. But yeah, we're gonna fly back to base real quick just so I can go. Oh, I want to complete this at some point. Not really. I might even just get rid of it altogether. This was when I was trying to make a glow squid farm or just some kind of squid farm without like actually making one. Which is why it's all sealed up underneath like this. It did not work, so it's not really viable to have around. But I think it would be nice having a better. I think if I do make a bridge or some kind of land bridge, it should probably be from there to there, something like that. I don't think this is quite the correct way to do it, so I'll probably end up tearing this out at some point. But yeah, we're gonna fly back to the Guardian Farm just for a little bit here, just so I can, go get some stuff. So, by some stuff, I mean some levels. So we'll go do that. Although we might be flying for a little bit here. Not too long. And I don't have my bed, and it's going to turn dark, so we're just gonna wait my house until it turns dark. Because I don't want to go back to go get my bed right now. I'll have to rework my base better when it comes to like what I'm doing with the walls and shit like that, so it's not just all stone and dirt. And the kind of like cuboid aesthetic that I've got going on here is really nice, but there needs to be something a little bit better in here. Be that big of a deal. So we'll figure it out though, I'm sure. But yeah, for context, these are the stone islands, I believe, that I've been carving into, or that I carved into, well, ages ago. And then this right here is the piece of land that's been completely and utterly destroyed by me. So we're gonna probably take some time here, I guess, to actually update this map because I can actually do that. So we'll sleep first. We'll bring this map with me, and we'll just go fly around with it at some point here, and then I'll make sure to come back. But I ought to cover everything on it at least. So be good to see how different that island's getting. Yeah, up and out to Guardian Farm we go. Fuck that away, my inventory. I need to back in. We can always have something like waterfalls, like pulling into like big things of water. But these are the only 2 bits of inventory with, shitty durability on top of some of this other stuff. So I don't need to grab a whole bunch here or nothing. And I guess the shears. We'll grab the shears. Oh yeah, so you might notice the knockback looks a little bit funkier. Apparently they did a thing where they re-added like directional knockback and all that kind of stuff. So it's been bugging me personally because I could never quite tell what I'm looking at, but it's not that big of a deal or nothing. It's just something that I should point out because that's part of 1.19.4 in case anyone else ever sees it, then they don't found out about it somewhat recently. The shovel pretty much done. Cheers. Cook the rest. Oh, I need to fix this up. And cool level one. It matters, but it's just cool to have. I haven't had that in ages. It's where that shear went. Okay. Finally ate enough golden carrots with that too, so I can actually condense them all. But yeah, we can head back over to the dirt hole and go get some more dirt. So that's cool. And we need to get the map enabled. Now, like I thought, it's just simply too thin. Oh, of course it was the fucking backside of the island, so we can't even see anything different. Crazy. But yeah, the actual like framework here is too thin for it to actually like register on here. So, and not to mention, apparently I don't even have the right map to fucking do. It's a little bit of. It does happen. But we'll just pop on down into here again. But again, those two small islands, they're the ones that I like completely turned into stone, and then the back half of this island here should be the one that's being turned into a stone. I think you can already start seeing it on the. Oh, it's actually just barely not on the main map. This is the part where I'm at now, and then it's this shit back here is where it's like rotting away practically. Holy hell, dude, that's crazy. That's a huge fucking difference. Damn. Yeah, this is like its own little grassy oasis by comparison, but otherwise, like the beaches are still intact with the sand, but it's like completely devolved into stone. Otherwise, which is pretty fucking cool. But damn, dude. But that bit of land doesn't even show up on the main map, so that's all right. But yeah, we'll go ahead and drop this back off at my base, and then we'll fly on back again. I also better go check the gunpowder farm too, because I keep forgetting to do. Let's go take care of that now. I'm still remembering to do that. We'll just pop in, see how much gunpowder we got. If anything, probably doesn't, but you never know. So. Ah, that's annoying. I heard swimming. That's good. That's a great sign. Redstone's still fully functional. We're still getting a nice deposit of gunpowder. Still got a great amount. Doing very good. Yep. Good to have. back to getting dirt. I love being able to do that now instead of having to just go in my inventory and do it. Makes things a lot nicer. But yeah, dirt. Am I right or am I right? We'll get some more. It's been an hour and a half. Cool. No weird seeing Lapis is high above ground. Definitely a little strange. Alright, third box is almost done. That's great. And then with the grass, that'll make about 4.5 there, so good deal. yep, that's a hell of a lot of dirt removed, and I think that actually puts us over 3 shulker boxes, so that ought to be good for now. Probably. I'd hope so. And again, you never know. But I'm not gonna get any more for the moment. I've got enough here. Fun fact, it did not actually put me at 3 shulker boxes, but I think that's close enough, so I don't really care. So grab all of this, and we'll get this back up, and that. Good to head back for now. Just so we can see some of the destruction we fucked up and caused here, so. Oh, yeah, that is a lot of fucking dirt just gone. That's pretty funny. Holy shit, yeah, alright. Got a little oasis of like an island there, then, you know, we're still like barely touching anything compared to the rest of the island, but we still have a massive chunk of it fully dug out. It's probably doable to like turn this whole like bit of dirt into just stone, so I'll probably cut out this strip of like beach too, so that way I open up like access to this ocean. Wow, these people are really bad at fucking driving this boat here. That's crazy. I'm gonna go check this out real quick. No reason not to, since I saw it. I don't think there's anything good in these. The most is like a buried treasure. Oh, I've already been here, haven't I? Unless it was a cave-in. These aren't slabs, so it might not be a cave. I guess we'll try excavating what we can. Why not? It's crazy. Shift toggle to run is definitely a little annoying. I think this is the front of the boat, not quite in it, so. Oh my god, I have been here before, a very long time ago, if I still had a stone hoe. Good Christ almighty. I wonder how long it's even been. It's a hell of a lot of time, I'm sure. I think there should be... Aren't there normally 2 chests in these boats here? Let's see here, we should have something tucked away. And it's a good little break anyway, so no harm in trying to excavate as much as I got the tools to do it, so why not? This almost feels like a really big one. Like, this almost feels like it's 2 of them, like, mashed together somehow. It fucking is, isn't it? Wait, hang on, it totally is. There's oak, spruce, dark oak, and jungle. This is 100% 2 shipwrecks mashed together. How did I never fucking, like, think about that when I was here the first time ages ago? That is so fucking bizarre. I'm pretty sure this is 2 of them mashed together. Yeah, see, here's another buried treasure altogether. Yeah, I was never here. I would have 100% snatched up the iron minimum. That is so strange, dude. Wow. Shit. Damn. It's quite a rare thing. And this stuff here is still waterlogged, so... It's somehow like 3 of them, or is this just a separate little underwater cave? Okay, that's what it is. Okay. I'll try and toss some of this out into the open up here, so that way I don't pollute my inventory that much. This is a nice little break though, at least. I don't mind this. Here's one I know I haven't touched before, yeah. Breaking one. Bamboo would have been a fucking score early on, yeah. Wow. I haven't been talking much about doing this, I guess. It just kind of surprised this is even here. But this is definitely two of them fused together. I'm pretty confident about that. The one that had the stone hoe and the feathers in it was almost certainly the buried treasure one. Which, you know, that's why I was looking through this, was for like a new buried treasure map, because I want to try and get more conduits in parts of the sea. And I don't actually remember how many I even own, so... But I'm pretty confident this is like two of them fused together for whatever reason, which again, pretty cool. Not something you really get to see every day, or at all. It's got 4 different types of wood in it, and there's only really 6 I think they're ever made out of. Well, now there's only 4 I think they are made out of, so... It's just pretty rare, all things considered. And it could always be cool to do something with this later on, but... Not that I probably ever will, but it's at least cool that it's here, that I can actually come look at it if I put it in a bottle or something. Alright, slight thing now, I need us. We'll do that. Okay, cool, but give me my bed back. There we go. It's enough boat digging for now. But yeah, you can definitely tell this is like two boats like mashed together at like this seam here. You know, you've got your oak and spruce boat, and then you've got your jungle wood and like dark oak boat. Because there should be like an actual like table here, but it just turns into like another boat. There's even the second table under here, funny enough. So I'd bet there's probably another chest down here somehow. If I can even get into it. I want to get into it in a way that doesn't really disturb anything too hard, so I'll probably just break this one here. I want to try and leave at least a decent chunk. But what a shame. Nothing down here. Oh well. But yeah, we can just dump pretty much all this stuff off in here. It doesn't. But that is really fucked up that this is even here to begin with. Because again, you know for a fact I would have like taken everything out of that chest there since it's a good loot chest for like early game. I mean, clearly it was early game again because I did have like a stone hoe in there, like, you know. I can't even remember when this happened. If it's not like in any of the early VODs, it probably happened in one of the VODs that I wasn't able to save because I just didn't think about saving them in time. But that's still like pretty neat that it's even here. Yeah, it's just a big ass. It's like they should be like it should be like half of a boat, like split down the middle. But because I guess of the way it spawned, it was like two boats that were like conjoined at the seam. So that's really unique and cool, actually. Alright, then we got a little flower farm that's fucking awful over there. Not very smart, apparently. But yeah, I guess back to mountain building, I guess, because you know it's been an hour and all, almost 2 hours. So that's cool. Tricky. Maybe that ought to be enough for today. It has been almost 2 hours. I at least got the dirt for next time. So I wouldn't really... I think I will end it right now for today. We've only got 3 layers left to... No, 4. I keep forgetting I'm still in the middle of doing that other one. I meant to hit left click there, but we'll worry about it another time. The next 3 aren't really that big of a deal. They're a lot easier to do since I pretty much don't have to clear out cobblestone at all. So next time we'll probably get it done, but... I think this was a good episode, you know, I mean, I got dirt, did more of the mountain. That shipwreck was cool. Map's a little bit more updated up here, but I'm kind of done for right now. It's day 1760, and it's been fun. So, yeah, cool. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see y'all again next time. So, yeah, bye-bye for now. Sorry it was so abrupt, but, you know, really not up to it at the moment.